What is up, gamers? Welcome back to another video, and in today's video we are going to be ranking all the classes and Dead Rails, including the new ones that recently just came out. Before the video starts, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you find this video very entertaining. Enough yapping, let's begin. Coming into the number 18 spot and being the worst class in the game, it's no other than the Nun class. It legit has no perks, no extra benefits at all. There really isn't much to say except it's the starter class in the game, so that's why it's the worst class in the game. Before I say the next class, I want to state that in this list, I don't care how much it costs for every single class. I only care about how useful and effective it is when you play the game with those certain classes. Also remember, this is my own opinion and it may differ from yours. Sliding right next to the worst class and into number 17, we have the zombie class. You are given the ability to heal yourself through eating dead corpses, which is very helpful, don't get me wrong. You also lose a way to heal yourself by not being able to use any bandages or snake oils. In simple terms, you end up losing in order to just gain something, so it basically just cancels out. The zombie class also comes with another ability where you become less detectable. It's pretty useful if you don't want to engage in too many fights during a run. So to make the zombie class better, it should gain the ability Excess Fats, where you're able to have up to 150 health but can only regen to 100 HP, and to gain the extra 50 health, you gotta eat some dead corpses. For the lowest rated classes on this list, I will leave a suggestion to make the class more better and balanced. It's just to make the video a bit more entertaining. If you guys have any good ideas, feel free to comment down below and I could possibly tell the owner. Walking into the number 16 spot, this one might surprise you, but we have the Pack Master. Do I really need to say anything about this class? You spawn with 3 tamed wolves, which is great and all, but once they're dead, they're dead. Unless you use the strange mask, but that's out of the equation. Don't even get me started with the ability. The ability is not the greatest. The wolf needs to attack you to be tamed. Let's pause for a moment. You take damage and you get a wolf. Yippee, right? Well, you can just feed them a zombie and they're yours still. No damage taken, and there's plenty of zombies in the game to use as bait. So that's why it's really low on this list. To make the Pack Master better, it should be given the ability Treats, where you're able to feed your wolves and they actually regain health for munching on dead bodies. I say this is a great idea and will make this class way more useful and also good for videos. The class that breaks stone for a living and takes the number 15 spot, we have the Miner. The Miner just became much more essential for pushing trains to further distances with his trusty pickaxe ability. You may use an ordinary shovel to break down those stones that contain coal, gold, and silver, but who really wants to whack it 100 million times until it breaks compared to a 2-strike from a pickaxe? From the very start at 0 kilometers to the very end at 80,000 kilometers, you'll be able to find rocks that can be mined and help you out throughout the whole adventure. But the reason why the Miner is rated so low on this list is because you are now finally able to buy the pickaxe in the shop, making this class not that special anymore. To make the Miner class a bit better, it should be given the Diamond Meme, where the player has a 5% chance on finding a diamond when he breaks one of the stones. This would be a funny Easter egg, and you can have some insane gameplay out of this. Landing onto the number 14 spot, we have the Priest class. Yes, I know, you get 2 holy waters, 2 crucifixes, which are very useful, but they are one-time uses. Also, considering the fact that they took off the ability to sell those goodies, nerfed this class quite a bit. The Priest also gets an ability where you become immune to lightning strikes, which is great, but only useful when there's a lightning storm and nothing else, which usually appears at least one time in the game, which is like roughly 2 to 5% of a whole run. To make the Priest class better, it should be given the ability Shield of Faith, where if any enemy hits you, they also get inflicted with that same amount of damage back to them, which isn't the best ability, but it makes the Priest class just a bit better. Creeping into the number 13 spots, we have the Necromancer class. If you haven't played the new updates or used this class yet, essentially you're able to turn enemies you kill with a knife into one of your soldiers called Resurrection. Using a gun and killing the enemy will not work at all. It's a great ability, don't get me wrong, but the worst part about that, you're not able to move any of the monsters that you resurrected, so they're basically stuck in one place. Unless you're able to use a horse and guide them back to the train, but that will be time consuming. Another thing that I really hate is that you're also able to hurt the monsters you resurrected, so please be careful where you're shooting at. To make the Necromancer class a bit better, it should be given the ability to move the monsters you resurrected. That's all it really needs to make the monsters more useful. Arriving into the number 12 spot, we have the Alamo class. The reason why this class is this high or low on the list is because it creates a safe haven on your train with the barbed wire and the metal sheet that comes with this class. In addition to these materials, you also get a helmet to protect you from any headshot criticals. The benefits are great, but not better than the other classes above this one. Also, you are able to use newspapers as a way to replace the metal sheet. You know, this class is already really good, so it doesn't need any improvement. Raising the temperature for the number 11 spots, we have the Arsonist class. This class is good, so don't get the wrong message for being this low. The Molotov is a good weapon to use, but the majority of the community prefer using the holy water instead, since it has a one-shot mechanic. That, and it can be found pretty commonly since each church is almost guaranteed to have at least one crucifix and one holy water. I am not saying it always has one, but there's a high chance to find one. The reason why it got this high on the ranking list was because of the amount of damage it does to take down groups of enemies or just enemies alone. After it's used, it's pretty much gone and you're going to need to buy another Molotov, but the ability of doing more damage using the Molotov still stays with you throughout the rest of the game. Bulking up into the number 10 spots, we have the Ironclad class. The most defensive class in the game, since you spawn in with every single piece of armor you can get in the game. The class also comes with a small nerf just to balance this class out just a tad bit. The small nerf the class gets is a 10% less walk speed on your character. Speed in this game is kinda important just to avoid getting killed by any enemies, since they tend to run faster than you. If you end up moving slower, the enemies will be able to catch up to you quicker and take you out. You are able to use the horse to help this class out, but overall, it's still a pretty reliable class to use. Reaching into the number 9 spots, we have the Doctor, which might be the most supportive class in the game, considering that this class ends up giving you 2 bandages and 2 snake oils, being able to heal yourself in very crucial moments in the game. Plus, you're able to revive your teammates whenever they're down, and you don't even need bandages to revive people with this ability, since you're able to revive teammates without bandages, but sadly, you'll have to give up half of your life to revive your teammate. If you have full health, then you lose 50 HP, but if you have 10 HP, you will only lose 5 HP for reviving your teammate, which is the only reason why it's higher than these other classes. Dancing its way to the number 8 spot, we have the Musician. The ability to heal teammates from damage makes this class just a tad bit better than the Doctor. Having infinite heals is crazy, but it's a good thing. You only get healed just a little bit at a time due to its uselessness in solo games, since you aren't really able to heal yourself at all. So it stays exactly in the middle of the ranked tier list at number 8. It's also a top 5 class for Nightmare mode if you play with teammates, in my own opinion. One little secret with this class, you are still able to heal your teammates that are down and can be used as bait. What's more interesting, when your teammate is healed up just a tad bit and you make him get server respawn for going too fast, he will spawn alive, since it tricks the game into thinking that he was alive with a little bit of health rather than having 0 health and dead. If you manage to master the server reset tactic, this class can easily be top 5. Pause for a second. When I was recording this voiceover, I thought about an idea. I started up Dead Rails, I found a group of people, and I told this guy to reset. I healed him up just a little bit and I gave him one last task. to leave and rejoin. He leaves the server, and when he rejoins, he's not dead anymore. He's alive and walking around. It actually worked. So that's why the musician is number 8. Cruising into the number 7 spots, we have the conductor class. With the second latest update that just came out, the conductor now has the same amount of health like any other class, from 50 to 100 health. Having the ability to drive the train at a faster speed with no extra cost is very efficient, especially since the train is very vital to surviving and beating the game, and it's the most used thing in the game. No more boring gameplay, since you'll be reaching locations at a faster pace. And that's why the conductor is number 7. Shooting his way to the number 6 spots, we have the cowboy class. It's the best early game class, since you start the game with a gun, ammo, and a buddy. That's all you need to live a long and healthy life. This class is very helpful in every difficulty, and even when you play with your friends, since you become the protector. And like they say, starting the game pretty strong will create a strong pillar for a strong ending. We have finally made it to the top 5 classes, and the class that barely took the 5th place spot, we have the werewolf. Another class that's similar to the vampire class, since it's another monster related class. During the day, this class is just below ordinary, but when it turns nighttime, that's when this class becomes a real threat. Gaining 2 times damage, health, and speed, there's legit nothing stopping you when the moon is out. It's great, but you only gain the buff from 9 PM to 5 AM, which is basically 8 hours, so only 33% of the time you'll be buff and OP, but not buff enough to be higher on this list. The class that barely beats the number 5 class by a small margin, we have the horse class. You heard me. This horse class is number 4 on this list, just because it gains a faster walk speed. Being able to run faster than the majority of the enemies will make playing Dead Rails easier than you think. Having the same speed as a horse, nothing will be able to touch you, and this class doesn't have any negatives except your body is bigger than usual, so you might have a bigger hitbox when it comes to bandits. Other than that, this class sits at number 4. The class that gambled his way to number 3, we have the High Roller. I don't need to explain much about this class, since everyone knows why it's that good. Being able to sell items for 1.5 times the amount, you'll be able to gain so much money so much quicker. You'll be able to purchase everything in the store like it's pocket change. This class also comes with a weakness that can actually be turned into a buff, with a 10 times more chance of getting hit by lightning. If you end up obtaining the Electrocutioner, you won't have a problem reloading the gun anymore. Now, the class that I consider to be the second best in the game, it's no other than the Survivalist class. A class that hits enemies like a truck. That's a class you need to beat a ruthless game like Dead Rails. The class's ability to deal more damage while having less health is an ability that will curse those who dare to hit the person who has the ability. From dealing more damage with melee weapons to guns, I don't know exactly if this also makes Molotovs do more damage, but nevertheless, this thing becomes an absolute unit, and it might be the most offensive class that you can have in the game. Finally, we have reached the best class in Dead Rails, and you probably know since you saw the thumbnail, it's no other than the Vampire class. Being able to move at a very high speed, nothing will be able to touch you at all. Like I said, speed in this game is very helpful to avoid any danger and the possibility of dying, and this class is buffed 100% of your gameplay compared to the werewolf, which is just 33%. The class does indeed have a drawback of losing health during the daytime, but that can easily be fixed with lots of heals and the item that comes with the vampire kit, which is called the Vampire Blade, which the blade heals you every time you hit an enemy with it. So at the end of the day, this class is undoubtedly the best one in Dead Rails. If you made it to the very end of the video, that means you enjoyed watching the video, and you should hit that subscribe button if you want to watch more entertaining videos like this one. This was a very hard list to do, and I kept on moving classes around just because of the small details in certain classes that made it better or worse. yours. Remember, this is just my own opinion and it's not 100% facts. But anywho, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.